Input output organization overview. Concept is peripheral devices, accessing I/O devices, input output interface, types of data transfer, asynchronous. One is asynchronous parallel data transfer, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କ'ଣ ଅଛି asynchronous serial data transfer. ଗୋଟେ parallel data transfer ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା serial data transfer. ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି କ'ଣ asynchronous communication interface, interrupt modes of data transfer, program input output, interrupt driven input output, अंडर कौन आसो प्रायोरिटी इंटरप्ट, आउ गोटे है डायरेक्ट मेमोरी एक्सेस, आउ गोटे है आईओ चैनल एंड प्रोसेसर. दीज आर द syllabus of module 4, that is what input output organizations. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल देखिए हमें कौन ना पेरिफेरल डिवाइस. पेरिफेरल डिवाइस का मतलब क्या होता है कि जो इनपुट और आउटपुट डिवाइसेस that are connected to a computer, that is called as what? Peripheral devices. So okay. Input output devices that are connected to a system are called peripheral devices. These devices are designed to read information into the memory or from the memory. CPU upon communication from the CPU and are considered to be a part of computer. माने peripheral device रा कौन parts of a computer system. For example, keyboard, display unit, printer. These are the most widely used in a computer system. तो बेसिकली क्या होता है, 3 types of peripheral device होता है. One is input peripheral, another is output peripheral, then next another, that is the third, that is input output peripheral. इनपुट पेरिफेरल क्या होता है ना, यूजर को यूजर को अलाउ करना है इनपुट कहाँ से, फ्रॉम द आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड टू द कंप्यूटर, दैट इज कीबोर्ड और माउस. आउटपुट पेरिफेरल क्या होता है, अलाउज इंफॉर्मेशन आउटपुट फ्रॉम द कंप्यूटर टू द आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड, दैट इज प्रिंटर और मॉनिटर. कंप्यूटर ठारू जो जिनटा आउटपुट इनफॉरमेशन आउटसाइड द वर्ल्ड, दैट इज प्रिंटर, मॉनिटर एक्सेट्रा. इनपुट आउटपुट पेरिफेरल. इनपुट आउटपुट पेरिफेरल मतलब क्या होता है, अलाउज बोथ इनपुट फ्रॉम आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड टू कंप्यूटर एज वेल एज आउटपुट फ्रॉम कंप्यूटर टू आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड, आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड टू कंप्यूटर, कंप्यूटर टू आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड. Example, external memory device, that is input output peripheral. Then another thing is accessing I/O devices. Generally more numbers of devices are connected to a computer. Generally क्या होता है, many number of devices connected to the computer. So some means have to be provided by which a particular device can be selected to a particular given I operation. गोटे ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म हुआ पाई गोटे पर्टिकुलर डिवाइस सिलेक्ट होना चाहिए. ठीक है. सो दिस कैन बी डन थ्रू द यूज ऑफ आईओ बस अरेंजमेंट. आईओ बस अरेंजमेंट हिसाब से सब वर्क को हमको अकम्प्लिश करना है, वो संपादन करना है. आईओ बस क्या है ना, आईओ बस इज ए बस टू व्हिच ऑल इनपुट आउटपुट डिवाइसेस आर कनेक्टेड, यूज फॉर address data and control signals. address data and control signals पाई कौन यूज करा जाए. ଯେତିକି ଇନପୁଟ୍ ଆଉଟପୁଟ୍ ଡିଭାଇସ୍ ଅଛି ସେଟା କେଉଁଠି କନେକ୍ସନ୍ ହେଇଥିବେ ନା ଆଡ୍ରେସ୍ ବସ୍, ଡାଟା ବସ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ ବସ୍ ସହିତ କନେକ୍ସନ୍ ହେଇଥିବେ। Each device is assigned an identifying code or address so that the CPU can select a particular device by placing its address in the address line. प्रत्येक डिवाइस गोटे आड्रेस थी जोटाकि सो दैट कौन हम ना सीपीयू इजिली गोटे पर्टिकुलर डिवाइस को सिलेक्ट कर बाय प्लेसिंग इट्स आड्रेस इन द आड्रेस लाइन। आड्रेस लाइन से आड्रेसटा को प्लेस कर देवा द्वारा कौन पर्टिकुलर डिवाइस कैन बी सिलेक्टेड दिस टाइप ऑफ आड्रेस दिस डिवाइस सपोज 0.058.009 that is called the printer address. The printer can be selected. So now only the device that recognizes its address responds to the CPU. Device टा चिन्ह पारिबो कि its response to the CPU. This is called IO mapped IO. An alternative arrangement for identifying IO devices by assigning them by a unique address with the memory address space of the computer. It becomes possible to access IO devices in the same way as any other memory location accessing. An alternative arrangement for identifying IO devices are by assigning them by an unique address within the memory address space of the computer. IO devices को आ गोटे अरेंजमेंट हिसाब से आम चिन्हीपर आइडेंटिफाई कर बाय असाइनिंग यूनिक एड्रेस जोटा कि विदिन द मेमोरी एड्रेस स्पेस ऑफ द कंप्यूटर. It becomes possible to access IO device in the same way as any other memory location addressing. This is known as memory mapped IO. First one is IO mapped IO, another is memory map IO. Any machine instruction and addressing mode that can be used to deal with the operands can also refer to an IO device. Any machine instruction and addressing mode जेकोसी मशीन इंस्ट्रक्शन हो कि एड्रेसिंग मोड हो जेकोसी टाइप रो इट मे बी relative addressing mode, it may be direct addressing mode, it may be indirect addressing mode, it may be register addressing mode. So the use of any machine instruction and addressing mode that can be used to deal with operand. So कौन operand से तो deal करती can also refer to IO device. The use of memory mapped map IO कौन करे offer some flexibility in handling IO operation. IO operation को handle करा पे गुटे some flexibility provide. All the devices are connected to the IO bus. The device is connected to the IO bus through a hardware device that is called IO interface. All the device टा क्यों IO बस सहित केमती कनेक्ट हे ना गोटे हार्डवेयर डिवाइस को कौन कहुए ना और सर्किट दैट इज कॉल्ड IO interface. So these are the diagram, and this is processor, this is data bus, address bus, control bus. So now this is data bus, this is address bus, this is control bus. This is interface, this is interface, this is interface. Now one interface, this is a part, This is a input peripheral device. This is your I/O bus. This is the hardware device that is called interface. So now that is I/O interface. All the devices are connected to the I/O bus through a hardware device or circuit is called I/O interface. Yes, clear. Okay. Next, that is the connection of I/O bus to I/O device. I/O device है तो I/O bus कैसे कनेक्ट होता है? This is the block diagram of this. So I/O interface. I/O interface क्या होता है? Internal storage device और external I/O device बीच में एक transferring the instruction in which method the instruction is transferring between internal storage device to external I/O device that provides a method that is called I/O interface. I/O interface, that means it provides a method for transferring the instruction between internal storage device and external I/O device. बीच में इंटरनल स्टोरेज डिवाइस एंड एक्सटर्नल I/O डिवाइस में इंस्ट्रक्शन ट्रांसफरिंग करने के लिए एक मेथड की ज़रूरत होता है. वो मेथड प्रोवाइड I/O इंटरफेस करने वाला होता है. पेरिफेरल कनेक्टेड टू ए कंप्यूटर नीड्स स्पेशल कम्युनिकेशन लिंक फॉर इंटरफेसिंग देम विथ द CPU. Peripheral connected to a computer. Peripherals are connected. There is called the input or devices connected to a computer needs special communication link. गोटे communication link की ज़रूरत होता है for interfacing them with the CPU. CPU सहित interfacing पाई communication link की ज़रूरत है. The purpose of communication link. कम्युनिकेशन लिंक का पर्पज़ क्या होता है? टू रिजॉल्व द डिफरेंस दैट एग्जिस्ट बिटवीन द CPU एंड द पेरिफेरल एंड एमंग पेरिफेरल्स. द मेजर डिफरेंसेस आर फॉलो. पेरिफेरल डिवाइसेस आर इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक और इलेक्ट्रोमैकेनिकल. पेरिफेरल डिवाइस में भी इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक हो सकता है और इलेक्ट्रोमैकेनिकल हो सकता है. द CPU इज प्योरली CPU is purely electronic device. The nature of operations of a peripheral device is different from the operations of CPU. Peripheral device operation and operation of CPU is different. Therefore, a conversion of signal value may be required between the CPU and the peripheral device. The conversion of signal value may be required. The data transfer rate of peripheral are usually slower than CPU. Data transfer rate Data transfer rate of peripheral slower than CPU. So synchronization mechanism may be needed. So synchronization mechanism may be required. The data transfer rate of peripheral is slower than CPU. So synchronization mechanism may be needed. The data code of and format in peripheral differ from the word format in the CPU and memory. So conversion mechanism may be needed. The operating modes of peripheral are different from each other and each must be controlled so as not to disturb the operations of the peripheral connected to CPU. इंटरफेस मॉड्यूल क्या होता है? टू रिजॉल्व these differences to resolve these differences there is a need of special hardware component between CPU and peripheral devices. Special hardware component between CPU and peripheral devices to supervise and synchronize all input and output transfer. गोटे हार्डवेयर कंपोनेंट जोटा कि सीपीयू और पेरिफेरल डिवाइस को सुपरवाइज करिवो एंड सिंक्रोनाइज करिवो ऑल इनपुट आउटपुट ट्रांसफर. सो दिस कंपोनेंट इज कॉल्ड इंटरफेस यूनिट और आईओ मॉड्यूल. दिस इज कॉल्ड इंटरफेस यूनिट और आईओ मॉड्यूल. द डाटा रजिस्टर इज यूज्ड टू होल्ड to be transferred. The data register is used to hold data to be transferred. Status register is required to store the status, that is status or condition of the device for operations. Control circuit is for receiving and sending control signals to or from control unit. Types of data transfer. Types of data transfer, it may be parallel data transfer, it may be serial data transfer. In parallel data transfer, it may be asynchronous, it may be synchronous. In serial, it also same concept, it may be synchronous, it may be asynchronous. Asynchronous data transfers in parallel data transfer, that is strobe control, and another is hands up and shaking. Source initiated or destination initiated. Source initiated, destination initiated. Strobe types of data transfer. One is parallel data transfer, another is serial data transfer. Another is synchronous data transfer, another is synchronous data transfer. In case of serial data transfer, that is also same concept. One is synchronous, another is asynchronous. but there is the serial data transfer, there is no further divided, but in the parallel data transfer there is also further divided. Asynchronous data transfer is divided into two types. One is stroke control, another is handshaking. Stroke control is of two types. ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା source initiated, another is destination initiated. Again same concept used in handshaking. There is two concepts. One is destination initiated, another is source initiated. So let's start this concept. Now first, what are the difference between parallel data transfer and serial data transfer? Let's see the diagram. Byte B1, B2, B3. These are the bytes of 8 bytes of data transfer. In case of serial data transfer, there is required say one line, but in case of parallel communication, there all the 8 bits at a time to send to sender to receiver. So that is the number of lines are required. Parallel communication is basically is used in small and distance, because whenever the distance is more, the lines more required, more of number of lines is take to more number of cost. So what are the difference? First is each beat has its own path. प्रत्येक बीट पे गोटे गोटे पाथ आम देखी दीजिए. And total message is transmitted at the same time. Each bit in the message is transmitted in a sequence, one at a time. To transmit n bit, n separate wires are required. यदि आम 5 bit data transfer कर तो 5 separate wires are required. But in case of serial, n bit is transmitted through a one wire. That is the advantage. To transmit n bit, n separate wires are used. N bit is transmitted through a one wire. Expensive due to multiple numbers of wires are used to transmit. माने खर्च अधिक हम कहीं जेहेतु मल्टीपल नंबर ऑफ वायर्स आर यूज्ड टू ट्रांसमिट. Inexpensive, that means there is compared to parallel, because single wire is used to transmit. Speed is faster as data is transmitted through multiple wires. It is speed is faster. What is speed is faster? So जेहेतु multiple wire use करछे, but its speed is slow as data transmitted through a single wire. Quite difficult to upgrade the system. System को upgrade करिया पई difficult हुए, जेहेतु number of lines is required. Easy to upgrade the system जेहेतु single wire, easy to install. Suitable for short distance. Program discussion करते it is small range. Suitable. It is suitable for long distance. Example CPU and I/O, that is CPU and memory bus. CPU and I/O. Next, synchronous data transfer. What is synchronous data transfer? Both sender and receivers share a common clock. सिंक्रोनस डाटा ट्रांसफर में क्या होता है, सेंडर एंड रिसीवर सेम क्लॉक को यूज करते हैं शेयर. फॉर लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस ट्रांसमिशन ईच यूनिट इज डिवाइडेड बाय सेपरेट क्लॉक ऑफ सेम फ्रिक्वेंसी. ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ଲଙ୍ଗ୍ ଡିଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ ଟ୍ରାଭେଲ୍ करना है प्रत्येक यूनिट डिवाइड कौन करेंगे, सेपरेट क्लॉक किंतु सेम फ्रिक्वेंसी, सेपरेट क्लॉक को यूज करेंगे किंतु फ्रिक्वेंसी इज सेम. The transmitter transmit block of character along with synchronization information. The receiver decodes and find the synchronization information and keep its clock in step with each other. The transmitter sends data and the receiver counts the number of bits in the received data. ट्रांसमीटर डाटा को सेंड करदेला किंतु रिसीवर कौन करो, काउंट द नंबर ऑफ बिट्स इन द रिसीव्ड डाटा. फर्दर देयर आर नो गैप बिटवीन द डाटा, दैट इज कंटिन्यूअस ट्रांसमिशन till end. In this method the timing signal must be accurate to transfer data efficiently. Moreover this method is faster than asynchronous data transferring. तो फिर से एक बार, sender and receiver uses share a common clock for the long distance transmission of each unit driven by a separate clock of same frequency. The transmitter transmits block of character along with synchronization information. The receiver decode करिवो and find the synchronization information and keep its clock को रखिवो in step with each other, step wise. The transmitter sends data and the receiver counts the number of bits in the received data. Furthermore, there are no gap between data, that is continuous transmission. Synchronous कौन continuous transmission, तार माने डाटा भितर किसी गैप नथिबो एंड पर्यंत. In this method the timing signal must be accurate. Timing signal दा accurate होगा दरकार to transfer data efficiently, data transfer ପାଇଁ. Moreover this method is faster than asynchronous data transferring. Asynchronous parallel data transfer between two independent units require control signal for synchronization during the data transfer.